Yo, what's up everybody? I'm Kevin from Simpledrummer.com. In this video, I'm going to give you 7 tips to help you prepare for an upcoming gig. If it's your first time here, make sure you hit that subscribe button so that you can stay in the loop for all of our future videos. The secret to becoming a pretty successful drummer is nailing gig after gig after gig so that you develop a reputation for being reliable. The first step is to make sure you communicate. I know this sounds a little bit obvious, but it's true. You have to remember that any band leader or someone organizing a gig has a lot to do and they have to communicate with a lot of people. The last thing they want is to have to go chasing you around. When you get a message, make sure you return it as soon as possible. If you have any questions, then reach out because it's better that you get answers than remaining uncertain about some aspects of the gig. The second thing is to make sure that you really listen to the music and memorize it. One of the things I like to do is to make a playlist of whatever the songs are that I'm going to need to learn. I'll put them on my mobile device, and then when I'm walking around or I might be on the subway train, it's the perfect time to get into that music and start listening to it so that you can memorize some of the details and the songs altogether. This is important because there's no time for listening to music when it's time to practice. You want to start to work on the parts, and you'll be wasting a lot of time if that's the first instance that you go checking out the songs. The third thing that's really important is to learn the parts. People are expecting you to play the songs the way they go, so you've got to familiarize yourself with the parts. Now, if you listen to the music and you can't figure them out on your own, well, you've got the internet at your disposal. You can go on YouTube or Google the song and look for other people's transcriptions because the listener and the band is going to be expecting to hear the songs the way they actually go. The fourth thing to keep in mind is that you don't want to procrastinate. If you wait until a couple of days before the rehearsal or the gig to start checking out the music, then you're going to be cramming, and it's really hard to remember all the details when you're trying to stuff hundreds of them into your brain at the same time. I like to pace myself, so if I have 2 weeks before the gig or the rehearsal, then I'll start learning 1 or 2 songs each day, so that by the time it's a few days before the rehearsal or gig, I've already checked out all of the music. The fifth thing I want you to keep in mind, guys, is that it's really great to use cheat sheets or notes when you're practicing. Writing something down helps you to memorize it. So when you're working on a particular song, if you keep forgetting how the beat goes for the bridge, for instance, then just write it down on a piece of paper. Or if you get confused between the parts of a song, you might write out the structure. That will help you to keep the structure in mind so that when you're playing the song, you know what's always coming next. But when you get to the rehearsal or the gig, try not to have any of those cheat sheets with you, because if you have them with you, chances are you're going to rely on them. And if you're looking at your notes, then you're not paying attention to your bandmates. So this is a great tool for practicing, but make it your objective to not need those notes anymore by the time the rehearsal or gig comes around. The sixth thing that's really important for preparing for a gig is to make sure that you're well on time for everything. Don't show up at the last minute scrambling to get your gear in the door. You want to be the first one there, especially as the drummer, because chances are you have the most equipment to set up. If you're there nice and early and you have everything ready to go before any of the other people arrive, it sets a really good first impression, and chances are they're going to want to call you again because they'll see you as being a really reliable person. Finally, the seventh and last tip I'm going to give you today is to be positive. Guys, nobody wants a drummer on a gig who isn't a good hang. If you show up to the gig and do a great job, but you're complaining and whining about different things the whole time, well, that's just a drag. Now, when it comes to the music, if you're playing and you mess up a little bit, try not to be too hard on yourself either, and not overly apologetic. Things happen, mistakes happen, and if they do, just be positive about it, do your best, and move on. This is going to make you a better hang and a more positive person to be around in general. Chances are if you create that first impression of having a really positive outlook, then people are going to want to have you around again, and that'll increase your chances to get the gig again next time. Thanks for checking out this video. I hope these tips help you to get the gig and to knock it out of the park with a positive attitude. If you can do that, there's a really good chance that you're going to be called back again for the gig in the future. That's the secret to being a steady and reliable working drummer. For more videos to help you with your drumming career, as well as lessons on grooves, fills, and other concepts, check out Simpledrummer.com. Every lesson video comes with practice play-along videos so that you can take the material you've learned and practice it together with me while you're at your drums. Thanks again, and see you next time.